Hi guys, how's it going? Caitlin here and welcome to my kitchen. So we are prepping for the meals that are coming ahead this week, and let me see, it is, okay, so we're looking at pressure cooker spaghetti, south of the border meatloaf, roasted pork and apples, stuffed pepper skillet, and ultimate peppercorn burgers. It's gonna be so good. But if this week looks a little beefy to you, swap out the protein. It's not too hard. If it says ground beef, use some ground chicken, use some ground turkey. It's going to taste just as good, I promise you. So make this your own. I welcome you. If you're not into pork, you don't do it. I don't blame you. Sometimes I don't either. Just use some chicken, whatever. You can just sub out the protein in a recipe. It's not going to change it up an awful lot, I promise. Shall we get going? Okay, we'll just hop right into it. So, you know what? I'm going to start with the veggies. Let's start with the veggies. We're going to chop up 3 onions, but the first one, I'm actually going to chop up the onion, a pepper, and a carrot. And the reason for that is and I'm gonna put those all in one container. And the reason for that is that they all go into the pressure cooker spaghetti. If you don't have a pressure cooker, I'm sure that you can make that just as a one-pot spaghetti. You might be able to use it in the microwave if you have something that does that. Pressure cooker honestly just does it real quick, and I get kind of entertained making a good pasta in the pressure cooker. It's definitely a time saver for weekday meals. Although I know a lot of people are also terrified of pressure cookers exploding and stuff like that, and I can understand that because the first pressure cooker I ever bought, I bought on clearance at Canadian Tire. I thought of all things to buy in like a clearance bin at Canadian Tire, probably a pressure cooker for the first time, was probably not the smartest idea because I was terrified the first few times using it, but after a little while the terror disappears and then the love just appears instead and like replaces the terror. So it might be like for you like it was for me, and maybe you just use it a few times and the terror dissipates and then the love is there. Now, meal prep like this is definitely a love yourself later sort of deal. But I like to try to incorporate it all into one day with buying of my groceries. I'll put in a grocery order, it all comes at once, the food comes, rather than put all the food away, I'll just prep the stuff that I have to. And it's one of those things like after I start it, then it doesn't seem so bad, and it's kind of okay-ish, right? Like it was worth the effort. And my favorite part about meal prepping is that there's less dishes on the day of. So day of, I don't have to worry about all my vegetable chopping dishes and things like that. I can just worry about the dishes of the day, which when they say sufficient to the day is the evil thereof, I'm pretty sure they're talking about dishes, because man, those things just never end. All right. So there is a carrot going in with the pressure cooker spaghetti as well, and it's just some extra veggies in there. Like, I honestly think you could sneak in just about anything with this. Give it a try this first time, and if you want to play around with some other stuff in it, just throw some leftovers in. Nobody's going to notice. It all just goes into the sauce. Chopping them up real small means nobody's going to notice them. There we go. So choppy, choppy, choppy. There's a carrot, which I cannot cannot get my children to eat if my life depended on it. So sneaking into a sauce is about the best that I can do. Does call for a pepper, I'm throwing in some frozen pepper because I bought about 20 pounds of peppers. That looks like pepper. I bought about 20 pounds of peppers when they were in harvest season, and it was just like this ridiculous price. So I bought a bunch, sliced them all, froze them, and I am going to be eating these all year round, and I'm going to do the exact same thing next year because this was just madness. Saved so much money. Once again, I'd say it's one of those examples of love yourself later because it was a lot of chopping. But this won't surprise you. I have some pretty toys that do some pretty efficient chopping, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. This chopping wizard right here is adequately named the food chopper. And dude, this thing is a beast. Like it just chops. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. But for meal prepping, like it is just an absolute champion of its trade. Okay, so I've got a carrot chopped in there. I've got an onion chopped in there. I am going to just chop up my garlic at the same time because it's just going to keep things easy. Calls for 4 cloves of garlic. These cloves of garlic are honestly kind of ginormous, so I'm just going to use 3 of them. Garlic is one of those things, like you just kind of, you gotta do. That's not a good piece. Go for another one. Yuck. Okay, so garlic, definitely one of those things that you measure with your heart, but also if you kind of have like, you know, gut stuff, you know, garlic can be a little hard on your gut sometimes. So you gotta measure garlic with your heart, but you also gotta go with your gut too. Okay. I can't complain to the realtor or the grocer about this garlic because we grew it. We don't grow much, but we grow garlic. And if you're gonna start at growing something, that's probably a good one to start with because it's very low maintenance. You look it up, it's pretty awesome. You just pretty much plant it in November. Say, my in-laws say to plant it in Remembrance Day weekend. So then you remember, and then it's good to go the next year. So you don't do much with it other than that. It just kind of does its thing. Cover it with straw for the winter. If you want to feel really proud of yourself for growing something and you don't have much of a green thumb, well, that might just be the one for you. Man, that's piggy skin. Here we go. How you guys feeling with the menu this week? Excited for it? Too beefy? Like I said, you can switch out any of the proteins. Really, like, what I've tried to do is just make this easy. Make it stuff that you'll actually eat. Not just wishful thinking, gonna eat, like, I'm gonna eat 1,100 servings of vegetables every day and never eat another animal as long as I live. Like, that to me just sounds like that's not gonna happen for me, not gonna happen for my family. And the last thing I want to do is be making a meal for me and then a meal for everybody else, because that just sounds like a lot. Okay. Third one. Now I'm just going to chop my garlic with the same choppy that I already have been using. You could use a garlic press if you wanted to. Actually, I might just do that. My garlic press, you don't have to remove the peel. So that's one less thing to do. And one less thing to do is always a winner. There we go. That one I'm going to choppy because that is ginormous. Like, that is the mother of all. That is the mother of all garlic cloves. Like, look, that thing's at least a couple of them. Sorry. Hope you're not getting garlic clove envy over my massive garlic clove. Okay. There we go. I'm happy with that. So, just going to throw that into this container right here. Snap a lid on this one. And there we have it. That is the veggies that's going in the bruschetta pasta. So that one is prepped. Now I am going to chop 2 more onions as well. And these are for other recipes for the week. That picture looked a little funny. I'm judging my onion. There we go. I know in our house, like, you really can't chop too much onion because odds are it's gonna go into something. Even if I'm putting it into an omelet in the morning or whatever, like, chopped onion will go somewhere. So if I can prep it all at once, I don't know about you, but that's a win. I'm so picky on all, like, the little pieces of garlic or onion peel. I never want to see a piece of onion peel in what I'm making, and I know it's probably just kind of picky. I think it's probably fine. I wouldn't even taste it, but I'm a huge perfectionist. This makes it easier, but it is still a little bit of a thing on the pipes there when you're doing this method. A little bit of the outside skin there. Here we go. Onion chopped and ready. Whew. And I will tell you, my eyes are feeling that. Although that is one of the nicer things with the chopper, not nearly as many tears as you would normally get. Does not mean 0 tears, significantly less tears. Okay. Whew. There we go, another container packed up with onion, ready for the fridge. Now I am going to chop up, I'm just gonna cry to myself a little here. Gonna chop up a green pepper. You will hear a million different ways to chop a pepper. This is my favorite way to chop a pepper. Put her upside down, look at the bottom, just make cuts along the natural lines that you see there on the pepper at the bottom, like where it goes in. Just peel it off. Should pop off nice and easy. And then you just have the center part right there, which I will discard, along with any of the parts that look a little funny, but there's really not much there. All right, so I'm going to chop this down just a little bit. Are you a favorite knife person? Like this is by far my favorite knife. It's Pamper Chap. It's a forged Sentoku knife, and I adore it. It's got a lifetime guarantee, and it's just like the perfect size for me. We want them fairly small because they're going into a meatloaf, so you want them kind of to disappear in with the rest of the meatloaf. A cup of meatloaf, and honestly this looks like it might go over, so I'm probably going to use it in some other things. Oh my goodness, you traveled. Let me just take you back there. I guess I'm beating this thing pretty good, eh? Oops. Some green pepper left over, probably to go in some other recipes, and that's okay. There we go. So my green pepper's all ready to go. I did put a little thingy at the bottom of my dish. It allows, since there's so much liquid in the peppers, it allows the liquid to kind of drain through the bottom, so it's not just kind of sitting in its own juice. Not a huge deal if it's sitting in its own juice, but I just figured I would have it not. There we go. And I am grabbing one more container just for cheese. So I need about a cup and a half of cheese. Calls for sharp cheddar. I honestly don't know much about cheese because I really don't eat it, but my family does. So I actually have, like, when I'm going to be doing this loaf, I'm going to be putting it into mini loaf pans. I'm going to have it divided out so that a few of them have cheese and that mine does not, because me and dairy do not get along. So I always have something that is modified for me so I don't have to have it. But I'll do a cup and a half of cheese for them. And this little container, this fits on the top of it, but there's measurements along the side so I can see when there's 1.5 cups of cheese in there, which is kind of handy. Although if you like cheese, I'm sure that you could agree that also it's one of those things like garlic that you can measure with your heart. It's something I never liked, even as a kid. I was never a cheese person. I guess it's good that I don't miss it now. Like, this is, you know, not too long that we're spending prepping together, and you're gonna save yourself so much time and so many dishes this week just in having these veggies and the cheese prepped for these meals. And it's gonna make your week feel a lot more manageable, I hope. I know it makes mine feel more manageable, and once you get around to like actually like doing the dang thing, then it's not so bad. I think. I hope. Let me know. Okay. So there we go. Got my cheese. Gonna dump it into my bowl right there. And voila, I've got one more all prepped for the fridge. Those can go in the fridge. I'm gonna be nice and ready. I hope you guys enjoy this week. I hope you enjoy the recipes. I'd love to hear back from you what you think, and we will chat soon.